pants at you to never learn. Cause I done love the things you do to me, cause I'm a fan. Keep it a buck, I was happier as your man. So give me credit, you my lottery, I play it back. Keeping it real, don't you think it's fucked up me for real, never again. That wasn't the deal, making the miss, falling in love. What's gotten over you, or what's gotten over you. So don't forget me, even when the people say it's bad, I won't forget you. Even if our time was in the past, I won't forget you. The love that I have is still strong, but forget it. Even if I play it in my head, you gon' regret it. Cause the time I spent with you was always good. I took you to the room with this to tell them where you stood. Take me back again, or move on like you should. I swear to God, I'll be the friendly neighborhood. So don't forget me. You put me in the corner, so someone else will get me. I give you no more choice. I drove you to neglect me. And every day I saw you was how you didn't let me get another chance. So don't forget me. You put me in the corner, so someone else will get me. I give you no more choice. I drove you to neglect me. And every day I saw you was how you didn't let me. And even if I play it, now my hand is
What's good, Shinigami? You know what, bro? I did decide, you know what? Because I'm going to eat. So what I'll do is while I'm eating, we can watch one of the Itachi versus Byakuya videos. Yeah, bro, grabbing tea and going to draw. Cool. Like to hear that. Curious, still your thoughts about this script so far? Yes. I have a lot of people sending me stuff, bro. So it just takes me a while to sift through all the information and get back to people. Like it took me like 5 days to respond to Genjutsu. And it was an easy question too, but I just needed the time to like actually look it over and stuff like that. So give me a minute, bro. Question got me, you be sending me like very long stuff, so I have to like actually read it and digest, because I don't want to give you like fake or BS answers or anything like that. Oh, music's too loud? Got you, my fault. Let me turn that down, bro. Cool. Yeah, my fault about the music. That is kind of loud, isn't it? It ain't that long. Well, which one are you talking about, bro? Let me see. What's good, Karibo? How you doing, bro? All right, let's go to Discord really quickly. Yeah, all right. Are you talking about the Aizen versus Itachi one? Or are you talking about the whole Naruto versus Ichigo battle IQ? See, you got a lot of things up there, bro. I guess it depends on which one you want me to prioritize. Looking over. In fact, maybe I'll do it live. Maybe I'll look over it live. That would be a good idea. If I can... Where's my Discord at, actually? That might be a good idea. I don't know what that is. Oh, this is my course careers Discord, though. You can go for Naruto vs. Ichigo first because Aizen vs. Itachi is still a work in progress. Alright, I'm going to see if I can log into my Discord from my computer. And since I'm screen sharing, I should be able to do it live. Oh, wait. Nah, bro. Please don't. Okay, don't do it live. Gotcha. Okay. Won't be doing it live then. Gotcha. Because it's probably something you still want to unveil. So I get that. We won't do that then. So yes, while I'm eating... we can put on Itachi versus Byakuya. And then after I'm done eating, we can start reading some Boruto. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I want to see what Jigen is going to be bringing to the table as far as the manga is concerned. I've watched the anime fight, but a lot of things have been different from the anime fights I've seen. I think the only anime fight I really didn't see was Kawaki versus Garo. That's the only one I didn't see in the anime. But I've seen Delta versus Naruto. Delta looked pretty impressive in the anime. And it looks like Naruto only beat her by really outsmarting her, for the most part, right? But you could say those two are really relative if he's not using his avatar and his like super duper best attacks. You can say they're pretty relative. Sasuke and Naruto versus Momoshiki. I saw that. I saw the movie for that, and they did good. But I think the anime paints them. I think the manga just portrays a little better. It made them both look a little too relative to him fused, when that's not really the case. Naruto was only relative after entering KCM form, and even then, using his full jutsu, Momo was able to overpower him, and it took Sasuke using his Susanoo on top of Kurama for them to overpower Momo. Kawaki versus Garo in the anime is insane. I'll check it out. We can do that. But yeah. So I think. Wait, how long is his video? His video is 17 minutes, and Aizen's World is 18 minutes. Since I know Aizen's World is definitely a Bleach guy, what I can do is I'll watch Diego's Blood Spray. We can do that. What remains are most of Itachi's feats related to emotional intelligence. It's important for him and Aizen since they are manipulators. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, let me heat up this food real quick. Well, actually, no, we can start it, and then I'll just come. I'm going to do my best not to stop this one as much. I have a tendency to yap, especially when I'm passionate about anime and whatnot. I'm like focused on the map and you better see me. I remember how we met and how we fell in love. You kept talking to me and it was by your side. Right. Let's
Should
see.
Be around small.
Oh God, I'm already gonna have an issue with this. I know I am.
Uber Eats is delivering more deals, so you can get more food to watch more basketball. Right now, get a buy one, get one double stack biggie bag from Wendy's. And a buy one, get one chicken sandwich from Popeyes. To get food to watch basketball. And then more food to watch more basketball. Food, basketball. Food, basketball. You get the idea. Get deals on what you crave. Order now on...
As most of us have older siblings in real life, it's fairly easy to connect to the stoic older brother characters within a narrative as we respect and idolize them. Hailing from the Naruto series, Itachi Uchiha is one of the first that comes to mind of these types of characters, as his troubled relationship with his younger brother Sasuke is one of the most emotionally gripping narratives in anime manga, and makes him a memorable fan favorite within the Naruto community. Another one of these characters that comes to mind is Bleach's Byakuya Kuchiki, the young head of the noble Kuchiki clan, one of the Soul Society's highly regarded noble families. And although Byakuya is put into such a high position as a noble head as well as a member of the Gote 13, he's still conflicted and torn between the Soul Society's laws that a Shinigami must follow until their death and protecting his adopted younger sister.
How long is the
When I
intro?
started
Oh,
to
damn.
read Bleach and I got to the Soul Society arc, I couldn't help but
Speed,
immediately draw
strength,
parallels
AP.
between the two. And then from there I thought, who would win? This seems to be a pretty hard matchup to nail down when looking around on forums or asking people who are open-minded and know what they're talking about. For the purposes of this discussion, I will be using fake Karakura Town Byakuya, or Byakuya during the Iranka arc when he should be stronger after his fight with Bankai Ichigo. And I'll be using Itachi in his alive state before he gets revived by Kabuto's Ero Tensei. These are the most popular versions of the characters I'd say, since the 1000-Year Blood War is only just being animated this year, and the Iranka arc is Bleach's most popular, arguably. I'll be going over their physical stats like their strength and speed fairly briefly, and from there we can talk more so about their abilities and how an actual fight between the two would play out. Going over speed first, as this is the most dangerous territory in the video more than likely to start a heated debate, assistant captains or lieutenant level Shinigami are shown to be able to react to and dodge the Negation beam that the captain commander of the Gote 13 refers to as light, with ease. The Negation is used to rescue hollows that may be in danger to return them to Wako Mundo. Being as conservative as possible and fair, We'll say that dodging the Negation would make you relativistic. But even if it's only relativistic, a weaker Soul Society Ichigo is able to fight and beat 2 lieutenants or lieutenant level Shinigami, that being Ikaku and Renji. From there, Renji goes on to fight Byakuya himself, and Byakuya makes a complete joke of his Bankai. Byakuya then fights an Ichigo who should be stronger than he was fighting Renji after learning Zangetsu's name, and Byakuya is able to overwhelm and nearly blitz him with his Bankai, as well as the two being seemingly relative while both in their Shikai states. Ichigo then goes into his Bankai and is able to completely overwhelm Byakuya, and Byakuya only starts reacting to or pressuring Ichigo once he gets fatigued, as Byakuya himself states that he did not increase his speed, and Ichigo also thinks that he got slower over the course of their fight. In the Arrancar arc directly after, Ichigo uses his Bankai against Grimmjow, and not only is base Grimmjow able to react to him casually, but he also says Ichigo's Bankai is only average speed, and says that his own release mode, or Resurrection, is even more impressive than this. Byakuya then later on fights Zomari, who claims to be the fastest Espada, or have the fastest Sonido, and is able to casually react to him as well as his eye ability, blocking it with his Kido and then blitzing an angry Zomari entirely as he kills him. Otoniro is another Espada who is weak to light, and is seen dodging light peering into the room he fights Rukia in once she breaks open a wall. Later, Rukia has to use a movement restricting Kido in order to let the light touch him. Byakuya then goes on to fight the strongest Espada, Yami, and is able to react to him in his anger amp state fairly casually, showing that he must have improved since his fight with Ichigo. Dodging the Negation should make anyone at least lieutenant level relativistic. Then Shikai Ichigo in the Soul Society arc is shown to react to and basically blitz 3 lieutenants, one of which being the right hand of the captain commander. He and Byakuya are shown to be relative in their Shikai states. This would make Byakuya in the Soul Society arc faster than light in his Shikai, and 5 to 10 times faster than light using the Bankai multiplier given to us by Yoruichi when telling Ichigo about the potential of Bankai. He then gets some unquantifiably faster in the Arrancar arc. I'll be conservative again and say he should be at least 2 times faster than he was in the Soul Society arc. I could do some massive calc stacking using the release multipliers of the Espada he fights, as Urahara states that Espada's release states are comparable to the power of a Soul Reaper Bankai, but again, I'm trying to be as conservative, fair, and realistic with the characters as possible. Byakuya in the Soul Society arc should be anywhere from 10 through 20 times faster than light and relativistic with moderate ease. Itachi's speed is much easier to pinpoint in comparison. Kakashi, when he's much younger and while fatigued, is able to cut a lightning bolt with his Chidori.
Alright, these arguments are, mind you, they're not like weird or out of this world or anything like that. Ronin, what's good, my boy? I might have to like do a whole video review on that speed part, to be honest. Like, I was taking it all in. For the most part, everything did make sense. There's a couple things that I would have issue with, like using Bankai as a multiplier for speed. I wouldn't do that. Like, I'll say this, there's ways that I would do it, but I don't think I would just go, 5 to 10 times Bankai, now you're 5 to 10 times faster, 5 to 10 times more durable. I wouldn't do that. That has to be a case by case thing. I'm almost tempted to rewatch that whole thing and stop where I want to stop, but that's not the point of this video. I gotta stop this. This is why I'm not going to do any more videos, because I get too caught up in the little details. We'll go. I'm supposed to be eating here.
Gets faster as he gets older. Itachi is able to blitz this older Kakashi multiple times. Members of the Anbu are stated to have light speed attacks in the data books, and both Itachi and Kakashi served as members of the Anbu Black Ops and were highly regarded within their ranks at young ages. Several other Jonin and reasonably Jonin level characters also have light speed attacks that Kakashi should be able to blitz, as he is the strongest Jonin from the strongest village. The Raikage is also stated to move at relativistic to light speeds when
Arguments like that are weird, though. I'm not gonna lie. So because he's one of the stronger Jonin from the Leaf, he should be able to blitz light speed attacks.
using his lariat, and Itachi's partner Kisame is able to perceive this and imply that he'd be able to react to the Raikage if it were a regular one-on-one. EMS Sasuke as well as Edo Itachi are able to perceive and react to Sage Kabuto shooting a dragon that the data book as well as Itachi himself describes as light. And yes, I'm using Eli's Itachi, but he should scale to this EMS Sasuke in speed as the data book only claims that EMS Sasuke surpassed Itachi in ninjutsu and technique. Kakashi also reacts with a water wall to Itachi's water bullets that are stated to move at light speed in the data book. Although not all of these are entirely concrete and can be debated on, these repeated statements from both characters and data books convey that relativistic to light speed to faster than light speeds are pretty consistent throughout Naruto and its narrative. And what makes Itachi even more impressive is that he scales above and performs these feats while he's holding back, as it is his character to do so. Kakashi directly states that although Itachi has already overwhelmed He, Asuma, and Kurenai, he is still capable of far more, and questions why Itachi hasn't killed him yet. Kakashi is able to react to a stated light speed attack, as well as being able to blitz light speed attacks via the narrative and some
not a fan of that stuff. Ichigo and Naruto is easier, to be honest, since it's just battle IQ, and I know a lot of their feats. Ab-Stract, you need to evaluate these types of videos based on the logic of the content creator because your standards is strict in comparison. I got you, bro. I know. And like that's the double-edged sword of the type of scaling that I do. But I got you, man. It's just hard to differentiate. Not even differentiate. It's hard to look at it through my standard and then find their standard acceptable because the vetting process for what I look for information, for facts, for details. You guys have seen me. I'm extremely detailed. Even when I'm reading the fucking manga, I'm extremely detailed. So it just makes it a little harder. But no, you're absolutely right, Ronin. But that's kind of why I was saying the other day with Eon's video, like I'll conform to how you are. I'll conform to the person scaling it, if that makes sense. But that doesn't necessarily mean I can't still call out, inconsistencies or things I just think are incorrect. It's just like, I got you. I'll be a little more lenient for these videos. A massive amount of Bleach scalers use Bankai as a flat 5 to 10 times for all stats. Yeah, see, Karibo, and that's one thing that you can say Ab-Stract is against. In context. Now, I'll say this, Karibo, listen, I'll say this. Evidence would suggest that when you do go Bankai, your stats increase, but it's not in the way that you would think it happens. And again, this is all going to be shown in the video that I plan to release. But evidence would suggest and intimate that when you go Bankai or an increase in reiatsu is a direct correlation to an increase in stats. There are a lot of examples for this. This is different, though, than saying a Bankai gives you more stats. That's a different thing. Right? I would argue it differently. Just for Ichigo. No, I got you. Even if the boost is just for Ichigo, that's fine too, because once again, we can use other characters to scale off Ichigo's speed. So if Ichigo's Bankai just gives him speed, and that's from 5 to 10 times from whatever he is, then yes, we can scale other characters with that. That's fine. But let me eat.
He then says that Naruto has surpassed him, and if it weren't for him, he would have had to use his Mangekyo Sharingan against Kakuzu and ended up in the hospital as a result. Naruto then goes on to achieve Sage Mode, which should be at least a 10 times multiplier when scaling to the curse mark, and this Naruto still thinks he would lose to Sasuke, or the story sort of implies that Kage Summit Sasuke and Sage Naruto should be relative to each other. And this Sasuke still has yet to surpass his older brother Itachi, making Itachi anywhere from just faster than light to at least 10 times faster than light, again as I'm trying to be as realistic and conservative as humanly possible. Similarly to Bleach, there's a lot of calc stacking
that was just so weird.
For example,
I gotta hear how he got to Itachi being 10 times faster than light. So this was based off of Sage Mode Naruto, but then where did the initial scale come from? Was it Kakashi cutting lightning in a manga thing we've never seen? Was it the Anbu statements that are only statements and no feats or anything like that? I'm gonna chill. I'ma
Kakashi
chill.
states that Naruto using Kurama's chakra should be anywhere from 100 times multiplier, and you could just apply that to every form of KCM, but again, I'm trying to be realistic. Byakuya is realistically a bit faster than Itachi, but it's not like a tortoise versus the Flash difference or anything like that, and the two should still be able to perceive as well as react to each other, and neither party is just straight up blitzing the other. Moving on to AP, which shouldn't be nearly as convoluted since neither Itachi or Byakuya are incredibly power-based fighters. Aizen, when trying to fabricate turmoil in the Soul Society after he fakes his death, leaves a note to his lieutenant, and in this note he lies about another captain saying that they plan to destroy the Soul Society using the Sogyoku, the same Soul Society that has to house potentially billions of souls over time and that takes characters days to walk across. Shikai Ichigo is then able to hold the Sogyoku off or stop the Sogyoku before Ukitake and Shunsui seal it away. Neliel also says that walking from one side of Las Noches to the next could take 3 days. Aizen has a law put in place that no espada, regardless of their rank, could go into their release states or use Gran Rey Zero within the canopy, as they may end up destroying all of Las Noches in the process. The size of the Soul Society as well as the size of Las Noches has been calculated to be small country level online, and Byakuya scaling to Shikai Ichigo in the Soul Society arc as well as released espada like Samari and Yani means he should be around small country to large country in his AP, give or take. As a member of the Akatsuki, Itachi is required to be as strong as the Biju or tailed beast in order to fight and capture them for the Akatsuki's goals. The Biju are shown to be able to
Yo, that is not true. That is not true. You do not have to be as strong as a Biju to hunt and capture a Biju. That is not true. Again, Naruto is about outfoxing, out-strategizing, sometimes overpowering, but for the most part, as long as you have a specific technique, like poison, that can work on a human, right? Or you're Kasame, and let's just get away with the fact that he is a tailless-tailed beast, absorb chakra, pretty much indefinitely with his water shark bomb, right? Like, no, this lie that you have to be as strong as a Biju is just that. It's not true. Hidan is nowhere near. I'm not even gonna get into it, man. It's okay.
destroy villages, which are repeatedly referred to as countries and nations, but this contradicts the fact that they are also called villages and appear to be more so about large city in their size. Pain is also seen being able to destroy the entirety of Konoha with the Shinra Tensei, though this massively fatigues him afterwards. Deidara, however, when killing himself in Fallout Tactics with his C0 bombs, creates a massive blast that is comparable in size to a blast from the Ten Tails, and has been calced online to be small country. Deidara is also seen in the war as an Edo Tensei when he should be much weaker, flipping an island-sized turtle. And Itachi obviously scales to or above all of these feats, or his Susanoo should at least. If this sounds very unorganized or not all the way thought out, that's because scaling the attack potency of Itachi as well as other Akatsuki members is a lot more difficult than their speed, as you have to make a lot of assumptions while being generous and taking a lot of things hyper-literally. You can scale them to the Sannin fairly easily, and Jiraiya is stated to be able to carve mountains with his giant Rasengan, but Itachi scales massively above this Jiraiya and is regularly seen one-shotting Orochimaru, even when essentially on his deathbed, and Orochimaru is relative to Jiraiya. With all that disorienting nonsense out of the way, I feel safest saying Itachi is more than likely a large island to a small country in his attack potency, though his Edo Tensei version should realistically be stronger than this, as he's no longer ailed by his sickness and he no longer has a reason to hold back. With physical stats out of the way, I can talk about their abilities or specific things with the characters and how a fight with these two would actually play out.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you. I got a friend who told me about this website, and now I'm spending $58 a month. Full coverage. That's saving $139. It's amazing. All you do, you just go to the site.
Firstly, Itachi can see Byakuya and know Byakuya will not soul crush him. I don't want to hear this, and I still can't believe this is a thing in 2022. Hollows do not instantly soul crush human beings they walk by who have no sort of reiatsu at all to even see them present.
That's because hollows want to eat humans. Why would they soul crush them if they want to eat their souls? That would just kill them and make them hollows or send them to the fucking Soul Society, bro.
Ichigo, after using Mugetsu and getting rid of all of his reiatsu and Soul Reaper abilities, is still able to see Aizen and doesn't get soul crushed by him. Neither does Aizen soul crush Ichigo's friend.
Why? Why would Ichigo get soul crushed by Aizen? Number one, he still has his powers. He was in the process of losing his powers. That's number one. Number two, he just dealt Aizen heavy damage. Damage enough to make Aizen start to get sealed. So reiatsu scales with your durability, and when your reiatsu is low, your durability is low. Therefore, your power is low. There is no soul crushing Ichigo in this form because Aizen's reiatsu was low at this point, hence why he got sealed.
Don Kanoji or Zenosuke. Byakuya is shown soul-crushing people, but only people who are significantly weaker than him, and Itachi, as I've laid out, should be relative to him or at least comparable, and Byakuya still tries to fight people who are weaker than him that he can soul-crush, like Shikai Ichigo before his Bankai training. Genjutsu will also work on Byakuya, even if he doesn't have chakra. Sharingan.
What'd he just say? What'd he just say?
And Itachi, as I've laid out, should be relative to him or at least comparable, and Byakuya still tries to fight people who are weaker than him that he can soul crush, like Shikai Ichigo before his Bankai training.
Byakuya still tries to fight people that are weaker than him, like Shikai Ichigo before his Bankai training. Well, first off, Byakuya has tried to soul crush Ichigo. It didn't work. It worked on Hinataro and it worked on Ganju. Didn't work on Ichigo. So that's number one. Number two, Ichigo already took the most intense reiatsu he could probably take in the form of Kenpachi. So yeah, Byakuya, not really going to cut it after you fight a Kenpachi. So that's just incorrect. Soul Crush, and this will be in the video as well. Soul Crush is an absolute viable method and it's used on so many accounts in the story, you could argue people would use it in a fight.
As I've laid out, should be relative to him or at least comparable, and Byakuya still tries to fight people who are weaker than him that he can soul crush, like Shikai Ichigo before his Bankai training. Genjutsu will also work on Byakuya, even if he doesn't have chakra. Sharingan-based Genjutsu is shown to work on people who don't have chakra several times throughout the series. Sasuke is able to control Manda, a sage creature who only has nature energy, with his eyes.
See, this is just misinformation. As we just seen, the MC of Naruto literally said everyone has chakra. And Kawaki didn't even know how to use chakra. And guess what, everybody? He had chakra. So this is just incorrect. And this was made in 2022. So he's either misinformed or just knowingly putting out misinformation to suit a narrative and agenda. But it's okay.
In Itachi's novels, a process is described for how the Mangekyo Sharingan puts people under Genjutsu, and it doesn't require them to have any chakra at all. Quote, "For the visual jutsu of a normal Sharingan, your gaze has to intersect with the gaze of your intended target to some degree. You need that direct action, and the flow of chakra, but the Mangekyo Sharingan allows me to sidestep all that a bit. I just have to look at my target's eyes and I can pour my chakra in, even if our eyes aren't intersecting, and the amount of chakra is several times more than with a normal Sharingan, so the target falls into the visual jutsu instantly. They have no idea anything's even happened." End quote.
So pop quiz, where in that quote did he say the opponent didn't need chakra? What in that quote insinuated that the opponent didn't need chakra or chakra network for that matter?
Infinite Tsukuyomi is also shown to be able to put animals like cats under Genjutsu, and they shouldn't have chakra because they have existed.
All of these feats, even pains and datatas, huh? Itachi isn't tanking either of these feats. Yeah. That's the thing about Naruto, bro. And I'm preaching to the choir here, obviously, because you guys know my content, you know my position, y'all already know. Itachi doesn't scale to any of these people's best attacks, their best feats. That's not how the series works. Itachi can beat Deidara in a fight any day of the week. There's no scenario where Itachi takes one of Deidara's bombs to the face and Itachi is okay. That doesn't happen. It's not a thing in Naruto. It's not a thing in Naruto. It doesn't happen. It'll never happen. Unless we talk about Boruto, in cases with cyborgs and Otsutsuki. Then we can start having that conversation. Exactly. No wonder when I hear that, my brain just turns off. Oh, why would a hollow want to soul crush a human? People really don't understand the Bleach power system. Exactly, bro. They really don't. It's actually crazy. Sad how in all this, there's no argument for why Itachi can resist Soul Crush. There's no argument for Soul Crush. There is an argument for Soul Crush. Itachi has a soul, right? Byakuya is a spiritual being. Spiritual beings can attack the soul via Soul Crush. We've seen it countless times. There's no quote saying that the chakra network is necessary. All right. Oh my God. Oh my God. We had this conversation, Karibo. We had this conversation about maybe 3 to 4 days ago, actually. We had this conversation. Chakra has to flow into humans to get into their body. I'm sorry, because they have a chakra circulatory system, right? This is how they get chakra to every part of their bodies. This is why they have chakra going to their brain stems and their nerves and their, what do you call it? What's the part that they always like to talk about? The ones connecting to the eyes and the brain, the vagus nervous system, all that stuff, right? So, if you're going to implant chakra in somebody, it necessarily has to travel through one of these chakra networks. It wouldn't make sense any other way. Just like how you can't flow chakra through a rock because a rock doesn't have a chakra network. Sure, you can coat a rock with chakra. You can insert chakra into a rock. But guess what? If you put chakra into a rock, it doesn't have a circulatory system to move chakra around itself. So these things aren't the same. They're very different. And these cats have chakra. Animals have chakra. Everyone has chakra in Naruto. Jiraiya and Granny Shield blatantly state this. No quote. Where do they say the network is necessary? I'm saying the network is necessary. The series says the network is necessary. That's how chakra flows throughout the body. It carries, he says, the chakra network are like veins. They carry chakra like blood, and it carries chakra through all parts of the body. By the way, if reiatsu circulation system is the equalizer to the chakra network, what if Genjutsu chakra was sent to Byakuya and the chakra left because of the reiatsu vents? Chapter 49. That would be an interesting argument. You could argue that, yeah, Byakuya is expelling bad chakra through his reiatsu vents or any other part of his body. And the thing about like Genjutsu, right? What really makes it also just not a very viable thing is Genjutsu resistance isn't based on strength, but resisting certain attacks in Bleach is based on strength. And then further, resisting certain attacks in anime Crossverse is based on strength, right? So the question would be, who is the strongest person that Itachi put in Genjutsu? That's where we would scale it, and that's where we would stop it. I think the strongest person he put in there is Orochimaru. Orochimaru hasn't even shown city block levels of AP. AP, that is. Hasn't shown it. Doesn't have a feat. Doesn't have the scaling. Orochimaru couldn't even hurt the Four Tails. Byakuya would get the Four Tails out of here any day of the week. You're just making assumptions and stacking them on each other. When Jiraiya teaches Naruto and when Itachi pulls up on Naruto, Shio and Sakura. That's a funny argument I thought of. The series never says network for Genjutsu to work. Listen, the series doesn't have to say you need a chakra network for Genjutsu to work. The series already established that for chakra to be carried through the body, it necessarily has to go through a chakra point, a chakra network. It necessarily has to do this. They literally explain it. That's how chakra is carried in the body, through the chakra network, the tenketsu. So, if you're not doing this, then you are only inserting chakra or coating something with chakra. These are not the same thing, though. See, this is the reality about Genjutsu, interacting with Shinigami. Every Shinigami has their own mind realm with the Zanpakuto spirit inhabiting them. Kurama could break Naruto out, so can the Sunbomb. No, that's a fact, Revenant, right? But it don't even gotta go there. Because number one, you'd have to prove the Genjutsu's potency. Number two, you'd have to prove that it would work on people without a chakra network. Number three, you would have to prove that Shinigami would even be susceptible to chakra. Because show me them using it on a spirit. Show me Genjutsu working on a spirit, like a pure spirit, not one that is a spirit inside of a body or a spirit inside of a dead body, because we know there's chakra running through that body, therefore Genjutsu can work. Show me Genjutsu working on a spirit. And then we can start having conversations about Zanpakuto breaking them out. But you gotta jump that hurdle first.
Did long before Kaguya ate the chakra fruit. Genjutsu works on people without chakra, and it'll work on Byakuya. I don't want to hear it. Byakuya does have some hacks of his own, with Kido like his Danku shield, Rikujo Koro, Utsutsemi, and on top of that far more, as he's described as a Kido master and should be able to use far more Kido spells than he is shown to on.
Oh my god. Hacks is not based on strength. It's particular hacks versus that particular hack's resistance. Alright, so here's the thing with hacks, right? When you're doing cross verses, not every character is going to be exposed to everything in anime. So you can't just presume, just because a character hasn't been exposed to something, that that ability will work on them. So the defining thing we can do to limit that confusion is say, okay, cool. Who's the strongest person that this ability has worked on in their series? If it's stronger than the person you're trying to use it for crossverse, it's fair game. Unless that person has a hacks resistance that we don't know about. But even then, you would have to argue that they have a hacks resistance to this level of hacks that's being used against them. Right? So, if I have an ability that lets me read minds, and I've never failed to read the mind of anyone that is street level, you cannot just presume that if I go to another universe, I can now read the mind of a continental level fighter. Why? Because show me my hacks working on someone that strong. Mind you, the person I'm trying to read doesn't have to show a resistance. The burden would be on me to prove that my ability works on them. That's literally how it goes, bro. That's literally how it goes. Hacks is based on strength when we're talking about cross-verse. When we're talking about inverse and we see your hacks can affect people stronger than you, it still would fall under the realm of a no limits fallacy because, well, okay, when does it stop? Unless you just have like a gag ability and your ability doesn't stop, then that's something else entirely. But guess what? Genjutsu is not a gag ability, right? We've seen Genjutsu fail to work on the Raikage, presumably, because that's when you can't take me down with a mirror Sharingan. And then A literally says, I was beaten by a mirror Sharingan when Madara gets him in Genjutsu. So we've seen Genjutsu fail to work on A, who has chakra levels of a Biju in his second release or second state or whatever. And we know it can't work on Otsutsuki for some weird reason, right? So for Itachi, this is just really bad because the strongest person he put in Genjutsu is Orochimaru. Hope all that made sense.
Green. Outside of his Genjutsu, Itachi also has precognition to make up for the speed difference with his Sharingan. He also has a Matarasu, which will burn until its target is a pile of ash, as well as his Susanoo, which can shield him with a Yata mirror, a shield that is described to adapt its properties to whatever it needs to block, making the Susanoo more durable than Itachi is himself. Though the catch with these abilities is Itachi's sickness. It's implied and also stated that Itachi is practically blind during his second fight with Kakashi, as well as his fight with Sasuke due to prolonged use of his Mangekyo Sharingan. His sickness on top of his blindness can be very hard on his stamina in his body, and he may not be able to fight Byakuya for too long before he goes blind or becomes completely fatigued, but he may not need to fight for long at all. Though Byakuya does have abilities that may help him counter Itachi, like his Danku blocking a fireball or maybe Utsutsemi catching Itachi off guard, Itachi's abilities are far more dangerous and far exceed anything Byakuya is capable of at this point in the story in the hacks department. Discourse online would lead to the average spectator to believe that Bleach is an insanely hacked out and unstoppable verse, but this isn't really a thing until the 1000-Year Blood War arc, and with the exceptions of a handful of Espada and Aizen. Even with Kido that Byakuya may have that he isn't shown using like Cayenne, Itachi would simply react to it either using his base speed or with his Sharingan's precognition, and either dodge it or use the Yana mirror, which will simply adapt to guard against it. Though it works similarly to Amaterasu in its description, Amaterasu is instant whereas Hien has a physical travel speed. Genjutsu is also a huge problem for Byakuya as he gets up close to his opponents and often looks them straight in the face or even their eyes, the catalyst for Sharingan Genjutsu. Even if he decides not to do this with Itachi.
Hey, Revenant, give me the chapter, bro. I'll look it up right now. I got you. I'm trying to grant that Genjutsu can in fact work, improving that even then it's useless. No, I got you, bro. That's a fact. Even then it is useless, but in my head, there's just so many hurdles we have to cover before we even say, all right, Genjutsu works. But now we have to factor in the Zanpakuto spirits. That's cool. I'm fine with that. I agree 100% that is an aspect that would even contribute to it not working. But you got to get on the court before you can put the ball in there. Like before you make a shot, get on the court first. Genjutsu's not even on the court. Another argument I thought of, couldn't Byakuya overpower that quantity of chakra with raw reiatsu? Yes, he could. Yes, he could. Why? Because if you're of the belief that chakra is both spiritual and physical energy, and not that Genjutsu relies on yin release solely, then you would be agreeing that Itachi is only using 50% spiritual energy when he's attacking Byakuya. That's number one. So you're already coming in at a deficit. If you're of the belief that Itachi is using 100% spiritual energy, it doesn't make too much of a difference because Byakuya is also using 100% spiritual energy, and then Byakuya has more reiatsu than Itachi. We can quantify this just by the fact on feeling alone, right? Ichigo, when he came back from Soul Society, his reiatsu was able to resound throughout the world of the living, attracting hollows from Wako Mundo, right? The Ten Tails had such a reiatsu that it looked like it became its own planet. I don't think it's fair to say that we can compare those two things and say, okay, cool, this is what happened over here, this is what happened over here. This is what a lot of chakra/energy looks like in that verse. This is what it looks like in this verse. Itachi don't have anything like that happening to him. He doesn't. Nope, not a thing. So yeah, that's also a good argument. Mental strength is completely separate from physical strength. If you're talking about the hacks conversation, I agree with you, right? Here's the thing. When we're talking about cross-verse battles, we have to factor in the fact that no limit fallacies cannot be used as an argument. Argue them if you want to. That's fine. I will just bow out of the conversation. But no limits fallacies, unless you want to run a no limits fallacy argument, then no. I'm sorry. That's not how it would work. Bambietta, I addressed your baseless assumption. Bambietta nearly killed Shinji, but simply doing an AoE attack. Senbonzaku is ripping Itachi to shreds. Without question, it's ripping Itachi to shreds. Especially if we're using anything 1,000 Year Blood War and beyond, because Byakuya's Shikai has now become his pretty much Bankai. So Itachi's going to need Susanoo off from the rip. He'll need Susanoo. If you take the novel's canon, Soul Reapers can break out of illusions with their Zanpakuto spirit. Facts. And we've been saying stuff like that, Ronan. Hey, how you doing, Yonin, my boy? Yes, sir. How you doing, bro? Exactly. One smart. What Mangekyo Sharingan ability outside Infinite Tsukuyomi is the best in Naruto? I have an answer for that. I don't see Itachi winning, not gonna lie. Itachi's not winning. I mean, he doesn't have enough stamina. He doesn't have enough options. Genjutsu's not an option. Amaterasu, he gets about 2 fire shots of that, but Byakuya literally has fought like 3 to 4 eye people. He's going to be very wary. He already knows how to deal with eye abilities and all that stuff. The only issue is Tsukuyomi, but the arguments are the same. Yeah, I've been good, bro. I've been good. They got me in, where am I right now? Shit. I'm in Myrtle Beach. I'm in North Carolina, Myrtle Beach. Very nice out here. Very sunny. We're liking that. Glad to hear you're doing good, though, too, bro. The only issue is Tsukuyomi, but the arguments are the same. I don't even see Tsukuyomi as an issue. Not really. Tsukuyomi has to follow the same guidelines as regular Genjutsu. It has to be inserted into the opponent. It has to travel through the chakra network. Ab-Stract, answer it for me, please. What would you like me to answer? Let me see. Okay, one smart. What Mangekyo Sharingan ability outside of Infinite Tsukuyomi is the best in Naruto? Alright. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, right? It's not the Eternal. I'm sorry, it's not what's it called? It's not Infinite Tsukuyomi. It's not even Kodo Matsukami. In my opinion, the best Mangekyo Sharingan ability is probably Izanagi. Or it might be Izanami. I have to well, no, because Izanami would still require the opponent to have chakra, because Izanami is a mental attack because it's taking place within the confines of your mind. So I'd probably go with Izanagi. Yeah, a Genjutsu on the user itself or reality itself, whatever, however they describe it. I'd personally go with Izanagi. I think it has the most use case applications. It works cross-verse, it works inverse. The only limitation is, of course, losing the light in your eye. Oh, for illusions. Alright, let me read that with the context of for illusions. Okay. If we're just talking about illusions. So, Ronin, my question would be, do you mean real-time illusions? Like the Mizukage's clam genjutsu? Or, yeah, the Mizukage using the clam? Or do you mean mental attacks? Because if we're using mental attacks, then it undoubtedly has to go to Kodo Matsukami or Tsukuyomi. Because Kodo Matsukami will have you believing everything is normal and fine, and pretty much Inception, like you're doing all this stuff of your own free volition, but really you're being mind controlled. And whereas Tsukuyomi is going to have you in a genjutsu, at the instant you look into the person's eyes, you'll be in the genjutsu, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it depends on which one you're talking about. Do you mean real-time illusion or mental attack? But either way, I think you're going to be meaning mental attack anyway. In that case, probably Tsukuyomi. Probably Tsukuyomi then. Where is the whole Amaterasu spawns argument? Literally, that thing travels the Raikage. Yeah. Yeah, no. Amaterasu definitely travels. And it's not instantaneous. It's been blocked and dodged on so many occasions. Like, if Amaterasu spawned, the minute Sasuke tried to do it on Gaara, even though Gaara put up a shield, it would have spawned on the thing he was looking at, which would have been Gaara. Like, the fact that Amaterasu can be blocked by small things obstructing your vision and not hit the main person tells us that it doesn't spawn on the target's eye. Like it might be a point of spawn, kind of, but it more so travels than anything. If it can't put a soul that is bounded to a corpse, then it's not working cross-verse. That is Genjutsu. If it can't put a soul that is bounded to a corpse, then it's not working. Well, so they can genjutsu corpses, but again, corpses have chakra flowing through them via the Edo Tensei. That's how the Edo Tensei can use jutsu in the first place. For the most part, they have physical bodies, right? Okay, so Shunsui's Kodo Matsukami. I think I would say that. I think I would lean more towards. See, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, right? They both have crazy ass abilities in their own rights. Kodo Matsukami and Tsukuyomi are pretty busted. Fun fact, both Izanagi and Kodo Matsukami is basic abilities of Book at the End. Byakuya negged that shit. Oh gosh. Izanagi. I don't know about Izanagi being a Bookie of the End ability. Izanagi allows one to put a genjutsu on themselves and they can kind of rewrite. Okay, I see what you're saying. In the aspect of rewrite reality. So things did or did not happen. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Now he says Kodo Matsukami is basic. Okay, that's true too. Tsukishima's Book of the End is actually... See, but with Tsukishima's Book of the End, it's actually real. That's the scary part. He's not making fake shit. He's not just implanting you with fake shit. He's making an actual new timeline that your life now follows and goes in accordance to / with. If Tsukishima wants to be your father, guess what? It's now Papa Tsukishima. If Tsukishima wants to be your lover, guess what? You guys have known each other for 20 plus years and been in a healthy relationship. That's just what it is. Saying Byakuya negged the love and destroyed Tata for Roos. Byakuya consistently negs mind hack stuff. Yeah, no, that's just true too. And if Tsukuyomi is based on breaking someone's spirit, and Bleach characters are literally all spirit, that's literally where 100% of their fights take place. I don't see how Itachi breaking Byakuya's spirit is even an option. Tsukuyomi can kill more easily, so I bet it. So I put it above Kodo Matsukami in a direct confrontation. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Shisui could just Kodo Matsukami someone to kill themselves and they would do it. I feel like that could happen. But if you just mean faster, I guess. But then the thing is, like, when has Itachi ever did that on a competent fighter of renown? When has Itachi did that on a competent fighter of renown? Made someone or killed someone with Genjutsu. When does that happen? Or does he only do it on women? I know it's real. That's why I said basic abilities laugh my ass off. Because the mental attack aspect to it is just a side effect. Yeah, no, facts.
He still has his ephemeral Genjutsu that he can activate by merely pointing at someone. If Byakuya gets in Itachi's Genjutsu, he loses and there is nothing he can do about it. Jiraiya states that disrupting your chakra flow is the only way to break a Genjutsu, and more often than not, victims of a Genjutsu are shown breaking out of it with the help of someone else. You could try to argue that his Zanpakuto is sentient and will snap him out of it, however this is quickly shut down by the fact his Zanpakuto does not have chakra and neither does Byakuya. Itachi's Genjutsu has been shown to mentally torture his opponents to the point of completely collapsing and becoming too fatigued to fight, let alone stand. In another instance in the Itachi Midnight novel, he's shown
he does realize, like, everything about Genjutsu is chakra related. So you would need chakra to first be put in the fucking Genjutsu. It's not, you don't have chakra, so you can't break out of the Genjutsu. No, it's the opposite. You need chakra first. Then you're put in the Genjutsu. Like, how do you... I don't know how people understand abilities. I really don't understand how people come to the conclusions they do about abilities. I really don't.
his Genjutsu to put his lover under an illusion where he and her live out an entire healthy, happy life together with children, and she dies the instant it's released, after it's described to have lasted a nanosecond in the real world. Byakuya has no counters to Itachi's Genjutsu, and if he's put under it, it will either kill him or make him an easy target for the Totsuka blade as he is frozen or collapses onto the ground. The only win con I can think of for Byakuya is if he uses Rikujo Koro in tandem with his Bankai to do something like maybe get around the Susanoo's defense and wrap around it. This could work since even things like sand are shown to be able to enter the Susanoo and interact with the user, but this only works if you take Byakuya out of character, as he's never really shown to go all out in the beginning of the fight unless he's goaded into doing such like Ichigo does, telling him to unleash his Bankai from the start while still in his Shikai. Itachi, however, is not the same way, and the only time Itachi doesn't decide to instantly end a fight is whenever he's holding back because of his narrative. For example, when he fights Orochimaru and Nagato, two people he had no reason to hold back on, he one-shots both of them, using the Totsuka blade as well as Genjutsu. Byakuya is also shown susceptible to the type of mental torture a Genjutsu entails, as shown in his fight with As Nodt, and Fate Karakura Town Byakuya should be susceptible to this. Under better conditions, Byakuya with his slightly...
As Nodt's ability is nowhere near similar to Genjutsu. First off, As Nott's ability is more of a physical effect. Yes, it affects your mind to a degree, but it is more of a physical effect. Nothing's happening within the confines of your mind. As Nott's not doing anything to you. Actually, no. As Nott's thing works more like a chemical agent, actually. Yeah, because the thorns have to pierce you, number one. And then the other effect is Tartarfuris, just looking at him. So through the optic nerves. But no. Let me go back, because that panel, let me see. No, he doesn't say it there. Okay.
Town Byakuya.
Tsukuyomi can kill more easily, so... Okay, I read that. One smart, that's arguable. We've seen Sasuke counter it, so it depends on how proficient you believe Shisui is. Shisui actually did make someone off themselves. Shisui and Itachi were fighting half Hyuga. Oh yeah, you're talking about the novels and stuff, right? Yeah, that's why I think it depends on how skilled you believe Shisui is. Bruh, imagine mentioning a spiritual weapon against a spiritual being. Like, what, bro? I'm sorry, did you just get that new toy? Is that your special? Is that your trump card? A spiritual weapon? Never. Cone negs the spirit sword. Did this man just compare abstract and conceptual fear to mind games? Yes, he did. I don't know how to... Like, this is what happens when you don't have a full understanding on either series. I'm not going to lie. And no diss to Diego. No diss to Diego. I'm just saying, though. Because he's gotten multiple things that I would consider incorrect.
Should be susceptible to this. Under better conditions, Byakuya with his slightly better stats would be able to exploit Itachi's notably weak stamina, but Itachi's abilities and the way he fights in character overwhelm him in the end. Edo Itachi against Byakuya in the Thousand Year Blood War may be a different story, but that's another topic for another day. Bleach
literally makes no
Naruto
sense.
is easily one of my favorite Crossverse topics to discuss and debate, but it can easily get contentious or unnecessarily toxic when discussing it with different groups of people who may not feel as strongly about certain concepts, statements, or feats as others, but those people are often not worth debating or discussing with in the first place, as outside of the competitive spirit, the only reason to discuss or debate is to exchange ideas and arguments to reach a conclusion that is most reasonable while being open with your opponent and not dismissing whatever they say instantly because you may not agree with it. Gracias por ver.
Alright, yeah, cool. That was something. Let's get to some Boruto. I am excited though to read Boruto. I've been looking forward to this because we finally get to see what Jigen can do. Where are we at actually? What is this? What's happening? Is this where I was? No, hold up. Did I go back? Where am I, yo? I should be at Jigen. Okay, here we are. Alright. Okay, everybody. Get your minds ready for Boruto. Alright, we can chill with the Itachi versus Byakuya now. Let's get our minds prepped to read some Boruto now. After I read all these comments. Byakuya, damn, we got 1,000 of those everywhere. Exactly, bro. Like what? Literally everything in the spirit world. Never mind, I'm not gonna go there. The first Genjutsu Kakashi used on Sakura is similar to As Nodt's ability, forcing the target to see their worst fear. It's nowhere the same. What's happening to Sakura is a result of her being stupid and fearful of something that wasn't real. As Nodt is forcing your body, it's compelling your body to feel fear. He's using a chemical agent that compels your body to feel uncontrollable fear. Uncontrollable, irrational fear. That's what As Nodt's doing. It's nowhere similar to a Genjutsu. It's nowhere similar to what that bum fraud Kakashi did to Sakura. I'm sorry. It's nowhere similar to what Kakashi did to that bum fraud Sakura. There we go. What you think of the video? I sent it plus Aizen's World to see what you think of the way the two people argue for why their side wins. Yeah, we'll check out Aizen's World another day. Overall, it's hard to judge. It's hard to judge just because I'm so strict in a lot of things. And he said a lot of things that I would challenge. Overall, though, I think he's definitely wrong in his conclusion. I don't know how you can admit Itachi has less stamina. I don't know how you can admit Itachi, he did say, was slower than Byakuya, even if by a little bit. So he has less stamina and he's slower. Itachi definitely has less hacks and less better hacks. Did you mean you went back to the portal lights that didn't have them added? Oh, God. Yeah, so he's slower. He has less stamina. I don't remember the AP thing But Itachi definitely doesn't scale to the Biju Deidara or any of the large scale attacks that he said he does. That's just not how the fucking series works. Whereas reiatsu, you physically have to scale to the people you're hurting. And if someone can cause large scale destruction and you're relative to them, you can hurt them despite you not being able to cause large scale destruction. In Naruto, this isn't a thing. So speed, stamina, and AP would all go to Byakuya. What were the hacks? Riko Jokodo, Danku, Ho-Ho Stealth Shiho number 3, Utsusemi. What does Itachi have? Itachi, according to him, Itachi is Genjutsu. I don't even think I heard Amaterasu mentioned in that fight. But according to him, he has Genjutsu and the Totsuka Blade, which we don't know. The Totsuka Blade, number 1, which we don't know how potent it is. We've never seen it work on anyone weaker than Itachi. We've never seen anyone even resist it because people in Naruto don't even have spiritual resistances for the most part, right? So yeah, I think it was a nice attempt. I think it was poorly executed as far as the presenting of the information. The scaling was very iffy. I don't know. He did his best though. I feel like there was a lot of bias in there though. Like you can't like he gave Byakuya more of the winning attributes, but somehow Itachi wins the fight because Itachi tends to try and end fights faster. Okay, he fights bums. Now what? What now? Yes, Orochimaru was a bum. Orochimaru is a bum. Orochimaru is not even top 10. Okay. Like, they're all weird arguments. As Nodt literally states in a matter-of-fact manner that it's not your worst fear, but instinctual fear, absent the target's own thoughts and fears. Exactly. Flight alone is a hack that Itachi would see as sixpence. Thank you. Like, and then when I say Shinigami can fly or walk on air, then I'm being unfair. Then I'm being disingenuous, or what do they like to call me? But it's like, yo, if that's an actual ability, if that's an actual tactic that they can use, why wouldn't Byakuya just sit 30 feet above Itachi and pedal him with Senbon Sakuras? It's not like Itachi can hide from him. He can sense his spiritual energy. You alright? Because everyone in Bleach can sense spiritual energy. It's not like a special thing. People can feel people cross-dimensionally. It's not new. Itachi Kakami-sama as he bows. Like shit. Alright, let's get into Boruto. Tune your minds for Boruto. We're about to start. We're going to see what Jigen can do. Alright. How does flight not save Byakuya when Itachi can't fly? So let's do it, Karibo. Let's say Byakuya goes 50 feet in the air and only wants to fight with Senbon Sakura from afar. How does Itachi win this fight at all? You get back to me on that. Let's say Itachi has to fight Byakuya and Byakuya stays 50 feet in the air. What the fuck is Itachi going to do? I'll wait for that response. Alright. Oh my god. Hey, Red, you coming in on some bullshit. No one in Bleach can fly? Now no one in Bleach can fly. That's crazy to say. Don't be mad because niggas can't fly in One Piece and Naruto. Don't start saying no one in Bleach can fly just because niggas in your show can't fly. Like, I guess Ichigo didn't fly on his way to Soul Society from Royal Palace. Let's just see what happens when we type in. What's this? What is this? Dashing through the air in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the Soul Reaper we go. Dashing all the way. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, sad how a guy named No One can't fly. No one can fly. They stand on Reishi in the air. That isn't flying. Alright. You know what we can do? Let's do this. Let's do this. I got you. I got you. Let's do this real quickly. Real quickly.
I still am.
Who the hell? Let's get God. Way to get.
Hey, Red, what's this?
How far is he planning to go?
Red, what is this? What's happening?
Planning to go?
What's this? Is he just jumping off the air?
Planning to go?
Hey, Red, what's that? What do y'all call that in One Piece, Red? What do y'all call that in One Piece? Let's do it again. Uh-oh. Looks like flying to me.
Is he planning to go?
Woo! Woo! Like, what's happening right there? What are they doing? Beats me. Couldn't be flying. Quincy wings, nah, they crawl with those. That's cool and all, they literally can't fly. The Quincy made it possible for them to use reishi footholds. They legit can't fly. Alright. So wait, are you saying that, so you're saying they can fly, but only in certain conditions then? That, it sounds like that's what you're saying. Fireball Jutsu, Amaterasu, Susanoo, Beads, Totsuka Blade, and Genjutsu. Flight doesn't escape. Alright. So let me ask you something. If I'm 50 meters above the ground, and I can see everything this human is doing, why on earth would a fireball ever connect? Why on earth would Amaterasu ever connect? Especially if I have Senbon and Zakura guarding me, that is. Why the fuck on earth would the Susanoo beads connect? And Genjutsu wouldn't work for obvious reasons. Flying means distance can be created, so Byakuya can just block attacks with Danku. He can just block or literally move 5 meters to the side from any attack Itachi does. Unless they can be proven to just appear with a form of teleportation, which they aren't, all those abilities are shown to travel. Byakuya can block with Danku. Yeah, they're kind of setting dependent when it comes to mobility options. Okay, I'm not even mad at setting dependent. I wouldn't disagree with that. But you don't say they can't fly when we literally see them flying all the fucking time. I guess planes just slide on the air. If they can legit fly, why was the reishi footholds such a big deal? Why was Yami falling in chapter 344? Well, Yami was falling because you can be caught off guard, and because when you're caught off guard falling, it can be harder to create a foothold that way. Very easy. And with the reishi things, the reishi was being altered. So there's a difference between not being able to fly and only being able to do what you can do in certain conditions, right? They can do all these things under the normal circumstances of which they live and operate and stuff like that. The Quincy literally made it impossible for them to use reishi in that manner, though. So it's not that they can't, like, that's like saying, if I make let's take a character let's take a human that can fly, right? And then I make the gravity plus fucking 200. I can't fly in 200 plus gravity. So what are we talking about? It's literally the same thing. The example isn't the same, right? But the reasoning is the same. There's more instances of them not being able to legit fly. I just showed you them legit flying. I can find more of that stuff. I can find more of that stuff if you want me to. Let me just see if I can name them. Pretty much every Quincy, even ones that don't get wings, can fly. Like Master Masculine, he just gets a cape. He flies just fine. Ichigo flying from Soul Society to Royal Palace. Ichibe flying with Yuha when he hits him. Like, no trip. Yami was holding on a leg and he was sent down below. Why is that happening if they can fly? Because Yami's a goofball and a clown, number one. Also, Yami's not even really good with reiatsu to begin with. Reishi is literally the building blocks of reality. Take away air pressure and certain forces on planet Earth and see if a helicopter can fly. Exactly. That's like saying Superman can't fly because he is influenced by the gravity of Earth. Exactly. Or Thor can't fly because he uses Mjolnir. Exactly. You're being disingenuous, Shanks. Calling him Shanks is crazy. Only because we call him Redheading Trip and he calls us Trip. Alright, let's get the Boruto though. This annoying mark you put on me, tell me how to take it off. You don't care for the karma. Why? I kind of just want to get to Naruto and whatchamacallit. We'll get all this later. Okay, what the fuck is that on my laptop? Cool, Naruto kicks him. My laptop is always about to die. Always about to die. Always about to die. Yeah. Hey, peace, Shinigami. Take it easy, bro. We'll catch you later. Have a good night, a good rest, a good sleeps. Always good to die. Yeah. Alright, don't need these for now. Alright. By the way, finish the drawing. Okay, yeah. Amaterasu spawns where their user is focusing, then can travel after spawning. Byakuya would no longer be close enough to see the eye twitch if he chose to fly. He would just be dooming himself. Yeah, and then like the first thing Amaterasu would hit is his clothing because that's what it always does when it hits anything. And then Byakuya would just take off his captain's cloak. And then he'd just be wary of Amaterasu. Like, that's literally how Amaterasu works. It hits the thing on the person first, and then it can burn the person if it touches them. But Soifun was fast enough to get rid of Respira before it even touched her foot, and she kicked off her shoe. You don't think Byakuya can get out of a captain's cloak before Amaterasu touches his body? Since when does Amaterasu do that? It traveled versus Raikage and Naruto. Yeah, like, here's the thing. You can't dodge something that spawns on you. You cannot dodge something that spawns on you. If it spawns on you, well, I'm sorry, if you can dodge it, that would defeat the purpose of saying it spawns on you. It does not spawn on you. It's correlated with your vision and your sight, and as soon as you move out of line of sight, that thing moves to wherever else it is. If it spawned on you, the second you used it and it activated, it would hit what you wanted it to spawn on via, if you could see it. But it doesn't do that. All right, I give in, so stop it. I'll do as you say, Jigen. Hurry up and take me back. Hey, now, wait a minute. Where's all this coming from? He's way more powerful than Delta. You won't escape with only minor wounds if you fight him. I'd rather be his prisoner again than lose you. Oh my god, why is Kawaki acting like a simp? Very well. As long as you're cooperative, there's no problem. Now come here, Kawaki. No problem. I've got a huge problem with this, you piece of crap. Lord 7th. No, I insist. I can't allow such a thing. This wasn't originally your business. Butt out. No can do. It's the Hokage's job to protect everyone in the village, without exception, and that includes you, Kawaki. Jigen goes to grab. It looks like a portal's forming. Compromise seems impossible, so let's decide this the easy way. Jigen, no, stop. Okay. Looks like he took a different dimension than you were. A world where Konoha doesn't exist. Okay. So that's interesting. A different dimension than where you were. A world where Konoha doesn't exist. Now, that is very interesting, that wording. He says Konoha doesn't exist. And they're in a different dimension. And he also calls it a world. The question would be, is he referring to a planet or a universe? Right? Both could be equally interpreted, to be honest with you. But the fact that he calls it a different dimension leads me to believe this is an entirely separate universe. That's what it leads me to believe. Hey, we got Mugetsu in the chat. Hey, we got Mugetsu. See, it's funny because Shinigami leaves and Mugetsu comes. It's like I get one for another. Itachi cannot move his Amaterasu. That is an ability exclusive to Sasuke. Itachi has Amaterasu in Tsukuyomi. Sasuke has Amaterasu in Kakatsuchi. Also, Byakuya has literally slashed the tendons in his own arms and legs against Amari, so even if Amaterasu could damage him, which it wouldn't, he could just chop off the limb it spawns on. That's true too, but before any of that would happen, Mugetsu, like it does all the time, Amaterasu would just burn Byakuya's clothes, and then he would just take his captain's cloak off. Why not? The samurai was able to drop his armor. Why not? Madara was able to drop his armor. Why not? Sasuke and Killer Bee were both able to substitute out of it. And before you say I'm wrong about that, go back and watch it. Bee actually substitutes out of it before Sasuke actually puts it out. So yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. He does. And also, we've seen Amaterasu fail to burn basic trees. But I'm not one to do that right now. We still got Shinigami here. Shinigami, you're supposed to be going to bed, bro. Obito sensed the chakra built. And there's that too. There's that too. As long as you can sense the spiritual energy building up in a person, you can definitely tell an attack is coming. Right? So, Obito sensed the chakra build up from Sasuke's eye before Amaterasu. So, bro, Byakuya can just do the same thing. Pretty much. He blocks Amaru's eye hacks with Bakudo. So, yeah. That was just a different planet. That was just a different planet of same universe. All right, so how is it the same universe in a different dimension? How does that make sense? These Otsutsuki can travel in different planets. So how would you prove though it's the same universe? It's just novel writing. Ignore it. He just means it's a separate dimension. I don't know if I can ignore it. Well, I mean, I'll ignore it, but yeah. Now, farewell, Uzumaki Naruto. I'll be leaving you here. What? Take care, Lord 7th. What? Wait a sec, you bastard. So, look, yeah, so Naruto can get BFR'd very easily. Like, there's no way for him to get back at all. Sasuke. Rinnegan-based space-time ninjutsu. You must be Uchiha Sasuke. You okay, Naruto? Yeah, thanks to you. I was about to be left behind in this who knows where place. You tracked the Hokage's chakra here. What lousy timing. Though if you'd arrived a few minutes later, you could have taken him home without having to fight a futile battle. Well, it depends on how you think about it. If we rush you here, it will have been worth getting here early, no? Oh, if we crush you here. I said rush. If we crush you here. That's right, this is perfect. Here we can go wild without worrying about anything. Ha ha. Ha, heh heh heh. You cracked me up. Alright, Cool. We're about to get into Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen. Let's put all our variables on the table. Jigen has taken Ten Tails chakra. Naruto should be in perfect condition top form. Sasuke should be in perfect condition top form. Pretty much the same scenario they were with Momo. In fact, let's look at these side by side, so we're not making any mistake about what happened or what's going to happen. Good. Perfect. It starts right here. So they're both in top condition in here too for the most part. You can argue Naruto's chakra is drained, but with the amount of chakra he boasts to have, it really shouldn't even matter that his chakra is drained at all. So I'm going to presume they're both in top form for this too. Alright. And we'll start it right here for him. Okay. Amaterasu is stated to burn at the temperature of the sun's surface. Yama's Bankai burns at the temperature of the sun's core. Byakuya was alive within 18-mile radius. That's a good point. Different dimensions do not inherently mean different universes. Just like needing Reishi to stand on the air. Both can't fly. So then maybe my understanding of what a dimension is wrong. Is a dimension not cut off spatially from another place that exists? Is that not true? Because I understand pocket dimensions can exist within a universe. I get that. But if it's stated to be a different dimension and not a pocket dimension like the Kamui, my head takes me to a place that exists outside of the observable universe and maybe somewhere else. But that's how I see it. Nah, sleep is for the weak. In chapter 45, Amado say they are invaded from different planet. I mean, obviously though, and this isn't to AOG, this isn't to disrespect you, right? Obviously they would be from a different planet. That wouldn't mean though that they don't come from a different dimension or universe either. That wouldn't mean that, because we know they can travel dimensionally. They can travel from planet to planet. But if my planet is in a different dimension and I can get there using space-time ninjutsu, that would still be planet to planet, just using the dimension as the go-between. To put it into perspective how weak Amaterasu would be in Bleach, Amaterasu is stated to burn at the temperature of the sun's surface. Oh, I already read that. Bro, base Byakuya stood in the vicinity of absolute zero in colder degrees and nothing happened to him. You think Amaterasu is burning him? That's a good feat. I'm actually going to use that. A world where Konoha doesn't exist. Sounds so pretentious. Like shit. It is just Amaterasu burns as hot as the sun, not specifically the surface. With its function, feats, and statements, the Amaterasu has to exceed the sun's surface. It doesn't have to, because every feat would suggest that it doesn't, first off. Like, aside from Sasuke burning some small little knives, every feat would suggest Amaterasu does not burn even at the surface of the sun. Bro, Kaido creates clouds as footholds in order to fly. Flight isn't flight. In Naruto, they can fly, by the way, unlike in... So in Naruto, they can fly. But in Bleach, when they stand on the air and actually, like, propel themselves with force, they can't fly. Depends on the verse. Case in point, mirror dimension. I guess that's true. It depends. It is cut off, yes. Naruto can't fly, he just glides. LOL. Yeah, so I mean, if we're talking about like One Piece, or even in the case of the Mirror Man from Flash, the question would be for me though, is like, if every mirror on the world, or if every mirror in the world was destroyed, could people still access, could the person in the mirror dimension, well, no, I don't know. It's fine. Let me just go back to the thingy. It's fine. Alright, so let's see what they can do. Let's see. So they're starting roughly anywhere from 5 to 7 meters apart. 5 to 7 meters apart. Whereas Momo... Okay, about the same starting distance, actually. About the same starting distance. Naruto's a little closer, maybe at like 5. Sasuke looks to be more around like 7 to 8 meters from Momo. And I'm estimating this based on a track field. I don't know if you guys ran track, but the 10-meter mark is fairly close. It's not a far distance. So I'm estimating based on that. Anywhere from 7 to 5 meters apart is where they're both starting in both of these fights. What the fuck? Anyways. The karma stopped acting up. What the heck's going on, Kawaki? So Naruto starts with a Rasengan, only to find out that Jigen can absorb it. The karma, damn it, so he can absorb Jutsu too. He absorbs Naruto's Rasengan, grabs his hand, kicks him in the shoulder, but Naruto blocks it with his other arm. And he's got incredible strength. Okay. So, no comment is made about this to Momoshiki, and I don't think Delta either. But this isn't a surprise to me, right? I think Jigen has always been physically stronger. Where I think Momo tops Jigen out is in ninjutsu ability. These rods again. And these rods absorb chakra. We have to remember that too. The rods absorb chakra. So he's coming with a kick. Sasuke comes with his own kick to save Naruto. Sasuke goes for a slice. Jigen summons a rod to block Sasuke's sword. Jigen, it looks like he's launching some rods at Sasuke. Sasuke sees with a Sharingan and is able to dodge, getting hit within the upper part of his armpit or lower part of his armpit, maybe mid part of his chest, kind of. God damn it. So yeah, it looks like Jigen is a more crafty fighter than Momo at this point. And let's go. So yeah, what they have in common is they can both overpower Naruto's base. Both of these guys can overpower Naruto's base. And it's even more clear for Jigen because Naruto states he's stronger, or he has amazing strength or something like that. Yeah. So Naruto necessarily needs his KCM form to fight with top level Otsutsuki. And just like how Momo's getting elbowed here, Sasuke can kick Jigen as well. So they can all hurt each other, but this does not surprise me. Now, this looks like a punch. This is not a Chidori. This is a punch. Look at his hand. This is a Chidori punch. This is not a Chidori thrust. Sasuke probably gathered that since his sword wouldn't cut off his head, he probably wouldn't be able to pierce his body. That's what I would assume, at least. That's my own headcanon, though. Okay, so he recovers. Oh, wait, did he get kicked again? Whoosh. No, so Naruto kicks, but he dodges. Okay. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Jigen is shooting rods into them. I'm guessing he went smaller here. He disappeared. That bastard. He's above the clones. And he rods 3 clones. What? Ah, so that's his deal. You figure something out, Sasuke? Yeah, the ability itself is really simple. I suspect that he can shrink objects. Shrink. That's it. Yep, that's it. But it's powerful. Take those rods. They start out small. They start out small enough that you don't even realize you've been stabbed. But they inflict mortal wounds once he instantly restores them to their original size. So here's the thing about that statement. And that statement has caused a lot of confusion, at least for me, with how Jigen's rods actually work. So here, what I thought was happening was he would launch the rods at you small, or even plant them on you while you're fighting, and then he would enlarge them by the motion of doing this. Right? That's what Sasuke is intimating is taking place. Let's read it again. He said they start out small, enough so that you don't even realize you've been stabbed, meaning they're already in you. And you don't realize you've been stabbed because they are so small. But then they inflict mortal wounds when he instantly restores them to their original size. So, when we get into instances like Damon catching the rods, or even Naruto in Baryon mode catching the rods, it kind of contradicts this point of the rods being already in you and then him turning them big. So for a case like this, I would argue that to dodge the rods, you would just need the reaction speed. You wouldn't have to figure out you've already been stabbed by them. I would presume that you weren't stabbed by them, like how Sasuke's saying, actually. And it might seem like he suddenly disappears, but he's actually just shrinking himself really small. Alright, let's see what y'all yapping about real quick before we go on. I see, you're right. A simple but very annoying ability. Yep, but Naruto, that's not his only secret, huh? Commendable. Your cool-headedness and sharp perception are even more impressive than your Sharingan's kinetic vision. And combined with your Rinnegan basic jutsu, the one I should eliminate first is actually you, Uchiha Sasuke. Mugetsu, for Amaterasu to burn all things, it has to exceed the boiling point or vaporization point of tungsten. It doesn't burn all things though, Karibo. Bleach can fly. The characters literally walk annoyed. They only can't fly in the royal palace because the reishi particles in the air are too thick. In Naruto, there is no reishi. One smart Celsius. Still much lower than Yamamoto, 50 million degrees. Also, it didn't even burn the trees around the Uchiha hideout. It didn't burn the trees. It didn't burn Madara's armor. It didn't burn samurai armor in a suitable time frame. Burn all things doesn't mean burn all things beyond boiling point. As long as heat can be transferred, a burn has occurred. That's true. That's true. Burn all things doesn't mean incinerate all things, right? Burn all things means as long as fire's on it, it is currently burning. Seems like Bleach would be powerful in those verses. World of Living has reishi as well, so no, they need reishi to fake fly. I agree with that. I think reishi is necessary. Yeah, I agree with that. Naturo solos Naruto in One Piece, by the way. Just by the way. No, they don't. They use their own internal reishi to fly. The world of living doesn't have enough reishi to interfere with the process. Neither does Soul Society or Wakamundo. I don't know about that when we get to, just because they like talk about gathering reishi under your feet. I don't think it's specified that they're using their own internal reishi though. I think it's more implied that it's the reishi in the air, just like how Quincy gathered reishi with, or using, their techniques, Sclave Rai, to make a bow. I think that's what's more implied, I would have to say. One smart. Explain the trees that survive despite being coated in Amaterasu. By your own logic, you should agree, Red. Naruto can't fly, lol. When the last time we seen Naruto himself fly? If you ain't gonna debunk the trees not burning from Amaterasu, stop glazing Amaterasu, which is fodder. Alright. So yeah, Jigen wants to eliminate Sasuke. So yeah, he's throwing the rods here. The rods are not already in their bodies. If the rods were in their bodies, they would have been struck by the rods because they were already in their bodies. So this isn't him activating the rods. This is him throwing the rods and then manifesting them to make them... him throwing the rods and then causing them to expand or not shrink anymore. Whatever. And they can be dodged because he has to do a motion, which is aim dodgeable. So if anyone gets hit by this, all they need to do is watch what his hands do and then be able to avoid the attack. It's not rocket science. So his other secrets, what the heck are they? Not right now. He's about to attack again. So he turns small and blitzes up behind him. Oh. Giant Rasengan. So use the Rasengan to counter the rods. Neutralizing my attack by using a wider one of your own. So they both fall to the ground. They both jump at each other. Okay. Jigen ducks the strike. He goes for a... It looks like he's about to put rods in Naruto again, but he senses Sasuke. And instead of doing that, he makes a pull in his hand. Cool. So here's the thing. Jigen is probably a better fighter than Momo. Fully grantable. Yeah, see, whereas Momo relies way more on ninjutsu, Jigen relies way more on his physical stats. And they can probably land more hits on Momo simply because Momo is not as good a fighter as Jigen. Or Jigen just really outstats him in, just raw stats. However, right? This part right here is about to be important. Because Momo's golem is able to choke the shit out of Naruto. Look. First off, he can't stop one golem punch with both of his hands. He's struggling. And it gets to the point where he's physically choking the fox, which is having a physical impact on Naruto actually being choked. Naruto couldn't have gotten out of this without Susanoo. So we see when Susanoo's added, though, Susanoo's able to contend with the golem. Cut off its arm. And even cut the damn thing in half. Which exhausts Momo's chakra and leaves him left for dead. So let's go back to our guy Jigen. Jigen. Sasuke, where'd he go? Behind you. To the right, by your feet. Got it. Giant Rasengan. Sorry, I can still absorb jutsu even at this size. Good. That's what I was hoping for. Because now, thanks to that, we can tell exactly where you are. What? Yeah, while I'm absorbing jutsu, I can't move swiftly. This is an ass pull. I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is an ass pull. How can he both absorb jutsu and use ninjutsu at the same time? How can he make a portal while absorbing ninjutsu? One of these things should not have been able to happen. That's bullshit. Ant-Man victims. Itachi does not have control over Amaterasu. He can either spawn or launch it, but cannot control it after firing. That is Sasuke's unique Mangekyo. Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know why. Yeah, Itachi can't control his Amaterasu. Not like that. Naruto never lost 6 pass mode, LO. He just can't fly. How did Naruto lose 6 pass mode, but Sasuke kept his Rinnegan? Low-key, that cyborg girl pieced up Naruto better than Jigen so far. And bro is amped by 10 tails. Yeah, actually, you know what? In the scaling review, right now, Delta has the best physical feats. As far as, like, piecing up Naruto. Delta has the best feats as far as that. Actually. Hold up. No, Delta does, actually. That's crazy. Anyways, this fraud gets out of it by teleporting. Which shouldn't have happened. It's natural, but all abilities have weaknesses. I've learned something today, and in return, I'll let you know. You'll never again be as lucky as you were just now. Alright, so he's transformed. So, right, that was base Jigen. That was base Jigen fighting KCM Naruto and base Sasuke, or Mangekyo Rinnegan Sasuke, which is still his base though, because he doesn't get stat boost. He doesn't get faster, stronger, or more durable by activating Sharingan Rinnegan. He just gets a higher perception. That's it. So yeah, base Sasuke. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Let's see how this fight goes in the manga. You bastard, so you grew a horn. Big deal. Naruto, a little while before I tracked you here, my investigation took me to a curious place where I found certain traces of Otsutsuki, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Kaguya, and a new totally different Otsutsuki. That's what the evidence pointed to. Otsutsuki, you're sure? Why would he ask him if Sasuke? Why would he ask Sasuke if he's sure? This guy's horn. It looks a lot like the one I saw on the new Otsutsuki. So what does that mean? What do you think, Naruto? What do you think it means? Why are you always waiting for Sasuke to give you all the answers, bro? Uchiha Sasuke, you went to that place. How did you know of it? I know about your misbegotten pet too. A juvenile ten tails like Biju. Am I wrong? I couldn't believe my eyes at first. Ten tails? Hey, I'm completely lost. Otsutsuki plus ten tails. Let me guess. You're planning to drain this entire planet dry of chakra, aren't you? Not just the two of us. In short, you're bad news. We need to take you down. Here and now, no matter what. Gah, which means our job's still the same. Yeah, this is Sasuke and Naruto going all out. This, right here, is Sasuke and Naruto going all out. Yeah, so this is the two of you going all out. Fine, show me what you've got. For my own enlightenment. Susanoo goes for a swing, hits the ground. The legendary Uchiha Susanoo. Its speed isn't all that impressive. He's standing on the damn blade. What about its defense? So you dare mock it? Sasuke swings again. He dodges. Blitzes up to the core of it where it's at. Oh, okay. And see, here's the thing with this, right? And I think I've said this before. Jigen didn't challenge the entire durability of this Susanoo in the first place. What he challenged was just this part right here. And I would have to assume it's a little stronger than the entire Susanoo. Sure, maybe, because it's where, the person's being held. But the only thing we have to go off is Kaguya's Ashbone versus Kakashi Susanoo. So there's no telling how strong this little compartment is. There's no telling. But I'm thinking if Sasuke put up both of his Susanoo arms, if Sasuke put up both of his Super Susanoo arms in front of his face, could Jigen still kick through both of those to get to Sasuke? I don't think he could, because that's a lot more durability he would have to contend with rather than just this little captain's quarters spot that Sasuke's in. Yeah, for my own enlightenment is cold. I'm not gonna lie, that's cold shit. That's probably some of the better writing that Odachi, because it's not Ikimoto. Oh no, you guys said he got rid of Odachi, so probably Ikimoto. Yeah, that's some cold shit. I'm not gonna lie. Jigen trying to mimic a fraction of the sauce on his salvation. Are we about to see Naruto blatantly rip off Mugetsu this stream? We might. We actually might. Although I do have work tomorrow, so we'll probably end around like 10 o'clock. But alright. So yeah, he's not challenging the total durability of the Susanoo. Really just a fraction of it. Being the compartment that houses Sasuke. But he is able to bypass it and kick Sasuke through his own Susanoo. What? He easily penetrated Susanoo's defense. Now, the reason why I haven't been able to make progress in my own Byakuya versus Itachi video is primarily because it's hard to pin down the actual the actual durability of the Susanoo. It's really hard. It's really hard to pin down the actual durability of the Susanoo. Because I don't compare it to its AP. And Sasuke gets hit with some rods. Jigen's flying at him. Sasuke has enough time. They switch places. He swapped our positions. Damn, Renegon. Naruto's best attack, while he has Jigen technically off guard, was to do multiple tail swipes. He couldn't have fired off a Bijudama in this time. He couldn't have made a Rasen Shuriken at this time. In fact, why doesn't he have clones sitting by gathering Senjutsu? He had all the time in the world while Sasuke was fighting his Susanoo. He could have just did that. Where's all the creative shit that Naruto used to do to beat all his other villains? Is Jigen too good for all that stuff? Yeah, there's no reason he didn't make a fucking lava-style Rasen Shuriken. And you could argue, oh, he would absorb it. But then that's when you attack with your goddamn tail. You throw the damn Rasen Shuriken, then you attack with your tail. So he's pincered. He can't do either one. But whatever. Yeah, Naruto's attacking. He's flailing with his tails, which don't even cause damage. God, we didn't even touch him. And he just makes the Nine Tails a big ass target to be attacked. Damn it, these rods again. See, and the thing with this being Naruto and Sasuke's best card in the deck is that these things aren't mobile at all. Like, any fighter relative to Jigen is whooping their asses as far as speed is concerned. But then again, most of every fighter in anime is probably fast. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that because I know Karibo's going to disagree with that shit. But yeah. Yeah, these are just bad options to fight with. Especially if you're dealing with, like, a character that is, like, a character that has high stats, high AP, high durability. Susanoo and Fox are not a good way to go. Like, Kenpachi's normal sword swings would be knocking the shit out of this thing. Anyways, he hits Naruto through his chakra cloak too. Damn it. Naruto. Rasengan. Okay. Stubborn. Sasuke's also coming. Alright. So, why didn't Sasuke just switch the Rasengan for the sword like he did with the kunai to Momo? It literally would have worked. It literally would have worked. Anyways, Sasuke switches himself with Naruto, goes to attack. As he's about to get to Jigen's neck, gotcha. Jigen spawns rods. Now, this is important because despite Momo having less physical stats, Momo is absolutely more durable than Jigen. Because Momo's first transformation, I mean, even Momo just eating Kinshiki, he was able to tank a sword swing to the neck. Meaning, although Jigen's physical stats are higher, Momo's durability is actually higher. Or at least when it comes to piercing attacks and slicing and stuff like that. Alright. For my own enlightenment, just seems like an imitation of Itachi's to test my own abilities. Fair. Itachi Susanoo specific is weird because of the Yata mirror. Yes, but the Yata mirror even itself isn't an omnidirectional defense. So like I would argue Byakuya would just pummel the Susanoo with, Senbon Sakura. Then the question would be, alright, cool, how much force can the Susanoo take? Just wank it. He'd still get fodderized. This writer lacks imagination, kicks up dust. Yo, Ab-Stract, I'm Boruto's biggest fan, and I gotta tell you to shut up. Naruto has mega ultra super battle IQ, and he clearly not using Bijudama because he's evolved to not need it. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, the clear thing would have been to first off, do some clones. Why are you not using more clones? You're the guy that makes 1,000 clones. Where are those 1,000 fucking clones to throw him off? Like, I second Boruto's biggest fan, but he absorbs it and doesn't tank it. The avatars in Susanoo are constantly portrayed as fast. They don't move like Megazords, which are fast, but give a slow and clunky impression. Where'd you get they are fast? I've never seen them fast in any sense of that word. I've seen them beat people who are slow. Where'd you get the idea that their avatars are fast? I've never seen that, bro. Like, even when they're fighting each other, even when we see them on screen, they're not particularly impressive. Anyways, he needs his rods to not be decapitated by Sasuke where Momo doesn't. Nice plan, though. Kicks him away. And of course, we have to factor in tactics and fighting and all this stuff. It looks like Jigen is just more... Jigen is just a better natural fighter, it looks like. But he does not beat Momoshiki just being a better natural fighter, because Momoshiki edges him out in ninjutsu. So he kicks Sasuke away. Bastard. Sasuke looking fucked up. What's the matter? Are you done wasting your chakra? Naruto throws a punch, blocks it with a single hand, knees Naruto in the stomach. Naruto wails over. He throws Naruto. Okay. Damn it. He's too strong. Amaterasu. The Amaterasu. Black flames that won't extinguish until they burn up their target. Well, not that applies to me. God, so it doesn't work on him. Damn it, if I expend any more chakra, I won't be able to use space-time ninjutsu. So, what did Sasuke use in this fight? He didn't use Chidori. He used Susanoo, and I guess he used chakra to move fast, kind of. And Amaterasu. I like the expressions on your faces. You've reached the end of your rope. Can y'all imagine if Shinji? Can y'all imagine if Shunsui was fighting this guy? He's in all white and black, and Shunsui's playing what's it called? Ida Oni, where you have to call the color you want to cut, and he's just in black and white. That'd be really funny, because it would pretty much go like how Stark versus him went. Alright, go. I'm at my limit too. Jigen's body can't keep pace with the power. Okay. So the power of 10 tails or the power of this transformation? Which one is he talking about? I really do need Kawaki. This vessel's done for. What's with that crack? Okay, time to wrap things up. Thanks, it was fun. This amount of damage is seriously bad. This amount of damage in Bleach is a Sunday morning for most people. Not gonna lie to you. This amount of damage in Bleach doesn't even register. You're expected to still fight and fulfill your duties if this happens in Bleach. Like Izuru Kida got half his side blown off. They patched him up, put 3 metal prongs in him, and sent him on his way and said, "Get back out there, kid." Shunsui was literally shot 3 to 5 times in his gut, in his chest, in his shoulder, and didn't pass out. Like, unless it kills you or absolutely knocks you out, you're expected to finish whatever fight you're in Bleach. Rukia got impaled and still had enough energy to do 1 attack. This is serious damage to Sasuke, though. So is Delta, by the way. Let's not forget her. He only uses clones for Hokage work. Oh my, yo, that's hilarious. Like, Naruto has digressed so much that his clones are only good for getting work done in the village and not actually, like, tactically being used anymore. Well, you see, Ab-Stract, as Boruto's biggest fan, I just gotta say, your eyes are untrained and they were clearly just moving so fast your eyes perceive them as still. Bruh, all Naruto does is telegraph wide punches, get knocked back, and repeat the same attack. Yeah. Just like in Bleach. No, actually not just like in Bleach. Don't know where that happens in Bleach. Stark went out kind of sad. You mean like his story, or you mean the fight itself? What you mean? Yeah, honestly, Stark should have lived. He just wanted friends. Yeah. Didn't Renji lose like an Ocean of Blood and Soul Society arc? Yeah. I mean, even if you look at Ikaku versus Ichigo, Ikaku gets fucked up, and he's still wanting to fight Ichigo. Ichigo's like, "Look, bro, you already lost. I even cut your sword in half. You still want to fight?" Ikaku's like, "Yeah, I still want to fight." Getsuga scream, "Look fast but never move fast. Can't fly and look sad constantly." What's this look sad thing? Where are you getting this look sad thing? What do you mean by that? And it's not Getsuga's scream. He barely does he does not do Getsuga Tensho as much as you guys say he does. He really doesn't. Just because it's his one move doesn't mean he does it as much as you guys are saying, or at least you read. You think he does it like every 3 to 5 seconds or something, bro. He's not doing a Getsuga like that. I imagine Jigen booby trapped the planet pre-fight. Minato and Obito did both fight with holes in their chest. Sasuke is just running along chakra. Alright. Who did Minato fight with the hole in his chest? Are you talking about the Nine Tails? Because he didn't fight. He literally sat there, used the rest of his chakra to help his son, then died. He didn't fight anything. Obito is a whole different case because he's working on, like, half of Obito was a Zetsu at one point, which means half of him was half of Hashirama. Or even if not that, he is Hashirama cells in the first place. And Obito isn't most people. You see, Ab-Stract, those are British Poles. So they roll 2d10s for damage instead of 2d4s and do pierce damage, which ignores 1d6 of the target's armor class. People act like Ichigo spams Getsuga, like Yusuke spams ray gun. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, it's like Ichigo used 1 Getsuga on Grimmjow. He never even used it in the Yami and Ukiyo fight the first time. He used 1 Getsuga. He used 2 Getsugas on Byakuya himself. The other 2 came from White. He doesn't even use a Getsuga on Nordoni. He doesn't use Getsuga more than 3 times versus Ukiyo. Like, yeah, no. Minato fought the Nine-Tails twice, hole in his chest twice, and still won. When was the second time? I don't remember that other time. Yeah, I don't remember the other time. What the? Naruto Uzumaki. With that Nine-Tails inside you, I suspect it'll take too much work to kill you. And it. Instead, I'll just seal you two away. By closing the lid on this coffin that we're standing inside right now. Seal away. But of course, not you, Uchiha Sasuke. Since you could escape using space-time ninjutsu, you need to die here and now. Look, that man's Sharingan went away. He's cooked. Sasuke can't take too much damage. What actually happened to him? He got kicked through his Susanoo and stabbed. What exactly happened to him this fight? Yeah, let's look at it. What exactly happened to Sasuke this fight? So he gets kicked. 1 stab. 2 stab. So he gets kicked and 2 rods are in his arm and leg. But this isn't fatal. But look at him. He's already sweating. Just from the kick. Because that shit probably hurt. Okay. He gets kicked again. So 2 kicks, 2 rods. And Sasuke is like leaking from this. Yeah. 2 kicks, 2 rods, and then this. Wow. Not surprised, actually. Alright, you can escape by using your space-time ninjutsu. You die here now. Though you're welcome to go and escape by yourself if you're capable of leaving the Hokage behind. Which he probably should have did because he's not going to try and kill Naruto anyway. You bastard. Naruto makes some shit. Oh, here are the clones. Look. The guy with infinite chakra damn near only makes 3 clones. I'm sorry, 4 clones. Get out of here, Sasuke, now. Are you crazy? You're not capable of defeating him right now. And at this rate, we'll both get taken down. One of us needs to escape. That's you. By the way, that's no shit that you... Minato fought the Nine-Tails twice, holding his chest. Have to read the Minato one shot. No thank you. I'll take your word for it that he did. Like, I'll just take your word for it that he did. Point being, though, the series doesn't have multiple feats like that. Like, Kakashi got stuck in rubble from Almighty Push and he was done for. Mind you, no damage had happened to Kakashi prior to that moment. That was one Almighty Push. We don't read filler around here. There you go. Ab-Stract. Have you read Rurouni Kenshin? It has one of the most raw villains in anime history, Makoto Shishio. Yes, Batosai the Manslayer. Yeah, that shit's hard. Kenshin Himura, Batosai the Manslayer. Yeah, I didn't read it. I've watched it. I've watched that anime I think 2 times. I watched the old version, and I watched the more updated new version. It was really nice. Again, typical Sasuke getting into a fight with someone much stronger than him. Just to get fodderized and saved by plot. So we're really picking and choosing now. Plot farmer. Sasuke raced his ass, started a beef with 2 black dudes, and got bodied by both of them. Who's the other black dude? Oh, B&A? That's funny. Alright. So Jigen is messing up Naruto's clones, dashes over. There has to be a way to defeat him, but it's going to be pretty hopeless without you. Yeah, well, right back at you, Sasuke. Don't worry about me. I won't go down so easily, so go now. And Sasuke teleports away. Smart decision. Don't you die, Naruto. Oh, too bad. You can track Kawaki using the karma, but not Sasuke, right? But back... okay. But back to me. Why are you bothering with sealing me away? Why not just kill me outright? Stop that, Naruto. Don't rile him up further. Kurama. He never had any business with you, so he doesn't want to waste chakra. Don't give him an excuse to change his mind and slaughter you. Your beast seems smarter. Your beast seems the smarter half. It's right. I have no interest in you. Though your son is a different story. Boruto, wasn't it? I was sad not to see him at your house, but is he coming along nicely? Why can he hear the conversation between Naruto and the fox? Unless Kurama literally just manifests like that. But then again, why would Kurama just come out of the blue like that? Anyways, don't play dumb to Karma. He's got one, doesn't he? Somewhere on his body. You stay away from Boruto. You must have been so busy up until now, Lord Seventh. Enjoy this little extension of your life in the pitch dark I'll leave you in. It'll be your end when next we meet. If you're still alive, that is. You better remember those words because I'm going to feed them right back to you. So he flies out of the seal. Oh. And the seal closes. And it looks like he's shrinking it. I think he's shrinking. Yeah, he's definitely shrinking it. Okay. So he can shrink things. He can't shrink people. But if people are in something that he shrinks, they will shrink according to the size that the thing is being shrunk in. Or is it like Naruto stays the same size? Like if that thing was broken, would Naruto just pop out large? He should technically because he can't shrink people. So yeah. Okay, yeah. I've expended more than I thought. What does your body hurt, Jigen? To shed tears is pathetic. You're not worthy of being Otsutsuki Ishiki's vessel. You defective failure. Kakashi died from chakra loss of the Kamui. The rubble is not what killed him. No. The issue isn't that the rubble is what killed him. He couldn't get out of the rubble, though, from a single almighty push. Like, he couldn't get out. He literally said, I'm immobilized. I'm stuck. Can't get out. Can't do nothing. Bro farm plot so much she appeared next to the best healer in the verse. Laughed my ass off. Bro got gojoed. Ant-Man victim confirmed. Like shit. Said you do that damn dark dimension. Where's Lord Seventh? I don't care. Alright, cool. Chapter 39. That seems like a good place to stop it, actually. Fuck, it's already 10 o'clock. Alright, y'all. This was a good stream. I appreciate you guys pulling up. Like the video. Share the stream. We gotta start sharing the stream. Because while I'm making less content, the streams are going to be the main form of content. So I appreciate you guys always pulling up to watch and engage and stuff like that. But, you know, if you got any friends, if you got any people of like mind like me / you guys, make sure to share the stream. They might like it just as much as you guys do. I certainly enjoy interacting with all you guys. You guys are like my cult 10 or my cult 8. 8 to 10. There's 8 to 10 of you guys. There's Mugetsu, there's Karibo, there's there's Ronin, there's Jax. There's Red, of course. Shinigami. Who else? Who else is like a frequent stopper buyer? There's Yonin. There's Twin. Yeah, there's a lot of you guys, man. I fuck with all you guys. But yes, it is getting cold in this place, and I have work tomorrow, so we're gonna go ahead and end it. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it. But this was a good stream, y'all. But yeah, no, hope y'all have a good night. Take it easy. I will be streaming tomorrow evening / night. I'll do it after I come back from the gym. I'll stream after I come back from the gym. We can watch the other Aizen's video, or we can read more Boruto. One of the two.